What do you know? What do you know? Tell you what I know. I think I finally got all my electronics figured out. I think I got them straightened out. Got the camera working. It's all syncing back up. So hopefully I can put this video together. So something else I know is it's time to recap the week. Let's see how it turned out. So my last load at the end of last week was in where was it? Kansas City, Missouri. And from Kansas City, Missouri, I deadheaded over to Spring Hill, Kansas. I can't remember what the deadhead was. I forgot to look at it. I did get the total miles on the load off the trip, but I want to say it was like 30 or 40 miles up to Spring Hill, Kansas. That was a live load that I took to Clayton, Indiana. So it was 531 miles total with the deadhead and loaded miles. And that load paid $1,070.16. So that's a rate per mile of $2.01. $2.01 a mile. Load weight 37,776 pounds. So not a bad load. Got me over in a better area. So that's what I was looking for. Now the next load, I deadheaded from Clayton, Indiana to Frankfort, Indiana. And I'm pretty sure that was a drop and hook, which was 65 deadhead miles. And from Frankfort, Indiana, I ran 302 loaded miles to Flint, Michigan, which is 367 total miles. That load paid $917.09. That's a rate of $2.49 a mile, and that load weighed 10,493 pounds. Now from Flint, Michigan, I deadheaded 137 miles to Holiday City, Ohio. Did a drop and hook. And from there I ran 313 loaded miles to Louisville, Kentucky, which was a live unload. That's 450 total miles, and that load paid $1,063.51. Now that's a rate of $2.36 a mile. And that load, it showed it weighed, when I booked it, it showed 4,000 pounds is what it showed. And I think that somebody missed a zero in there because, and not that it weighed 40,000, I'm not saying that it weighed 40. A lot of times when you book these loads, it'll just show what the maximum weight is for their loads. But I thought I was picking up a 4,000 pound load, and it had a scale ticket on it where they scaled the load behind the little yard jockey or whatever. And based on that and my rough guesstimate as to how much more my truck weighed than that truck, that load felt like and probably weighed right around 34,000 pounds. So 450 miles, 34,000 pounds, $1,063.51, and $2.36 a mile on that load going to Louisville. Now from Louisville, I deadheaded 284 miles to Perryville, Missouri. Was was supposed to be a live load. That load canceled on me. If you watched my last video, you heard about it. So got paid $150. So at $150, 284 miles, that's 52 cents a mile, if you want to look at it as an individual load. I tied it in with the next load. So so from Perryville, Missouri, I deadheaded 35 more miles, did a drop and hook in Neely's Landing, Missouri, and from Neely's Landing, Missouri, I went 395 loaded miles to Ottawa, Kansas. Now, the total miles on that, with the 284 miles and then the 35 miles and then the 395 loaded miles, was 714 miles. Now, if you take that load paid $1,211.76, then I got paid the $150 VNU, vehicle not used, so that's a total of $1,361.76. Now, if you take the miles and that total amount, that's $1.90 per mile. So that load weighed 20,132 pounds. And then I ran from Ottawa, Kansas. I ran 37 miles to Spring Hill, Kansas again, which is where I started my week at. Did a drop and hook this time instead of a live load. And then from there I ran 818 loaded miles to North Canton, Ohio. That's 855 miles. And that load paid $1,810.16. That's a rate of $2.11 a mile. And that load weighed 42,822 pounds. So that's the loads for the week. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 loads. So, total miles, 2,917 miles. Total revenue for the week, $6,222.68. That's a rate of $2.13 a mile for all miles driven this week. Now, my fuel economy this week has finally climbed back up where I like it. It was 8.3 miles per gallon. This week was a little bit warmer. Stayed out of the cold as much as possible. Didn't have to idle near as much to stay warm at night. So, with the 5 loads, my average weight for the week was 29,044 pounds. So not a bad week. Turned out pretty decent, even though I had a little hiccup right before the weekend. Fortunately for me, I was able to find a couple of pretty decent loads to kind of piece it back together. The main thing that kind of sucked about the load canceling on me, I had a really good load booked out of Perryville going to Ardmore, Oklahoma, and which would have put me home. I could have delivered that load, and then my Monday load I had booked out of Oklahoma was a pretty decent load also for coming out of Oklahoma. But I could have been home Saturday and done a 34-hour reset at my house, which would have been nice. Now, it wasn't my scheduled weekend to go home, but anytime I get a chance to run through the house, it makes your time out here on the road a little bit better, you know. So that was kind of my frustration with the load canceling on me. It really sucked, you know. Like, I was planning on going to the house. I ran really hard to get to that point to where I could make it to the house. And honestly, if everything would have went as planned, I would have been home Friday night and then delivered that load on Saturday. But, you know, things happen out here, and that's part of trucking. It can be frustrating sometimes, I think my frustration showed on the last video, and that was, you know, several days after the fact, you know. But it is what it is, you know. That's just, like I said, that's part of trucking. We deal with it, and you know, you just move on, you keep rolling. You can't let it slow you down, you can't keep it from making you money. So I pulled up my bootstraps and found a couple of loads and turned it into a pretty decent weekend, turned it into a pretty decent week. So fuel rates are coming up, or the fuel cost is coming up. So anybody that drives a truck is fully aware of that now. So for any of y'all that's new to this, it'll take a little while. There's usually a couple of weeks, you know, lag before fuel surcharges and stuff start coming up and rates start coming up. So over the next couple of weeks, the only advice I can give is slow it down. Try to get the best fuel economy that you can right now. Don't haul cheap freight, and if you can, don't haul heavy freight, because anywhere you can shave, you know, shave some corners, save a little bit of money, it's going to help. Especially till the industry kind of catches up with itself. So that's my advice for right now. I'm always super conscious of my fuel economy. Every little bit of extra fuel that you burn out here is a little bit of money you're taking out of your own pocket. So, you know, that's the way I look at it. So, but that's all I got for y'all today. I hope y'all are staying warm. There's a cold front pushing through. It done caught up to me. The wind's been blowing and it is cold where I'm at right now. So, but like always, y'all are awesome. I appreciate y'all for watching. Hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and like always, keep the rubber side down and shiny side up, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Y'all have a good day.